It was supposed to be just another casual evening with friends. We had been invited to a small get-together at one of my wife's colleagues' houses. The air was filled with chatter, laughter, clinking glasses, and the comfortable hum of people enjoying themselves. I wasn't particularly close with anyone there, but Arya, my wife, was. She had insisted I come along, promising it would be fun. For the first hour or so, it was fine. I made small talk, laughed at a few jokes, and sat quietly while the conversations bounced around me. Arya was in her element, glowing with confidence, smiling at everyone, telling stories from her work. I admired her from a distance, as I often did. She had this charm that made people gravitate toward her. And then, in the middle of a lighthearted game where people were joking about celebrity crushes and dream partners, someone asked Arya who she would pick if she could trade her husband for any man in the world. It was meant to be a silly question, something to get laughs. But she didn't hesitate, didn't even glance at me before answering with a laugh that cut through me like a blade. "I'd trade my husband for him any day." She gestured toward a man across the room. Tall, confident, handsome. One of her colleagues, the kind of guy who knew he drew attention the second he walked into a room. Everyone laughed. The man himself smirked, raising his glass as if accepting a compliment. The laughter spread like wildfire, filling the room. Everyone except me. I sat frozen, the laughter ringing in my ears. My wife had just announced, in front of a room full of people, that she'd give me up for someone else without a second thought. It was supposed to be a joke, maybe. But in that moment, it didn't feel like one. It felt like a slap, a deliberate tearing away of my dignity. I could feel people's eyes flicking toward me, waiting to see how I'd react. Some grinning, expecting me to laugh it off, others smirking, wondering if I'd get angry. My wife, meanwhile, was still laughing, sipping her drink like she'd just said something clever. The silence that came from me was louder than the laughter around me. I looked at her, really looked at her, and in that moment I realized something. I had two choices. I could laugh along and let it slide, burying the humiliation deep inside me. Or I could respond, not with anger, not with yelling, but with the kind of truth that would cut sharper than any insult. So I set my glass down gently on the table, stood up and said calmly, "Funny you should say that, Arya, because if trading me is that easy for you, then maybe you never really deserved me in the first place." The laughter died instantly. The room went silent. Arya's smile faltered, her glass pausing halfway to her lips. Eyes widened, smirks disappeared, and suddenly, everyone looked very uncomfortable. The man she had pointed to shifted awkwardly, avoiding my gaze. I continued, my voice steady, each word measured. "I came here tonight because my wife wanted me to. I sat quietly, supported her, smiled, played along, and in return, she thought, it would be funny to humiliate me in front of everyone here. But let me be clear, a husband isn't a joke to be traded, not even for laughs. Respect is the foundation of marriage. Without it, all the jokes in the world mean nothing." Arya opened her mouth, her face flushing. "I didn't mean—" I held up a hand, stopping her. "You didn't mean it? You said it. You wanted to. Look clever to make people laugh, and you chose your husband as the punchline. That tells me everything I need to know about what I mean to you." No one spoke. You could hear the faint hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen, the shuffle of someone clearing their throat. Arya's colleagues, who had been laughing moments ago, now looked anywhere but at me. I gave her one last look, disappointment more than anger, then turned to the host. "Thank you for the evening. I'll see myself out." And with that, I walked out, leaving Arya standing there, frozen in the middle of the room, the weight of her words now pressing down on her harder than she had ever imagined. Later that night, she came home. Her eyes were red, her face streaked with tears. She tried to explain, to insist it was just a joke, that everyone knew she hadn't meant it. But I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I simply told her the truth. If you can laugh about trading me away in front of strangers, Maybe you should spend some time thinking about whether you value me at all. Because tonight you didn't act like a wife. You acted like someone who has forgotten what respect is." She broke down then, sobbing, begging for forgiveness, promising she would never say something like that again. But something had already shifted inside me. Forgiveness was possible, perhaps, but forgetting, that was impossible. Words once spoken can't be erased. In the days that followed, the story spread quietly among her circle of colleagues. Some sympathized with me, some whispered about her lack of respect. The man she had jokingly chosen avoided her completely, at work after that night, unwilling to be dragged into the mess. The humiliation she had thought she'd thrown onto me came back to her tenfold. And me? I carried myself with silence. I didn't need to shout or punish her. My response that night had been enough. It silenced the room, silenced her, and reminded everyone, including my wife, that marriage is not a game, and respect is not a punchline. To this day, I don't remember what jokes were made before or after, or what food was served, or who else was there. But I remember her words. I'd trade my husband for him any day. And I remember mine. Then maybe you never deserved me in the first place. That was the night the whole room went silent, and the night my wife realized just how much damage a careless sentence can do.